Russell Westbrook goes for history. NBA Pick'em was red hot last week, so we're going to try to roll it over into this week. And Vegas movie night on this edition of Bet. That's Tyler Fulghum alongside a slot machine alongside Joe Fortenbaugh. Look at this thing.
I don't know who moved this in here, but it looks heavy. It looks like it was quite a weekend task to try and get this bad boy in here. A little bit older.
I was told it was in the neighborhood of 250 pounds and that we're not allowed to play with it or we'd get in big trouble.
We're also not allowed to put our hand in front of it either.
Right. Which is like going to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory and being told, here's some broccoli.
I mean, literally the lever is right on my side here. So over, under 15 minutes before I actually do.
Under.
Roll that beautiful bean footage there.
Smash under. Now, speaking of unders, what a performance from Rory McIlroy over the weekend, who has now become your favorite at some books for the upcoming PGA Championship in 2 weeks. And if you're going to want more on that, check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ESPN Sports Betting. We are going to be rolling out the content to get ready for golf's second major of the season in the very near future. We begin today with a little reaction, no action. All set?
I'm ready.
All right, here's how it works. Statement is read. If you agree, you are reacting. If you disagree, it is no action. So let's begin with this. We have covered just over 20% of the Major League Baseball season, and we've already witnessed a staggering 4 no-hitters. The MLB modern era record for no-hitters in a single season is 7. So reaction or no action, baseball will break its record for no-hitters this season.
I got to have a reaction to this, Joe. I mean, just by the sheer mathematics of it, we have 4 in essentially just a month and a half of play so far this season. That is pacing to smash this record. And it's not like it's been, the game's greatest pitchers. Jacob deGrom hasn't thrown one. Max Scherzer hasn't thrown one. It's the John Meanses of the world. Very good pitcher, but not someone we looked at coming into this season as a top 5, top 10 MLB pitcher. Carlos Rodon was once upon a time a top 10 pick, I believe, and was, looked at as a prospect who could reach this level, but he hasn't pitched like this until this year. It has never been harder to hit a baseball in the history of our universe. Pitchers have bigger, deeper repertoires of stuff, and they throw harder than they ever have before. That's why it's harder to hit a baseball than ever before. That's why we're going to see, I think, more no-hitters this year than any other season in big league history.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm reacting. And I usually bet against history with Russell Westbrook and everything else. It's usually, hey, if you're going to lay out a historical context and say, are we going to see history? I'm going to bet no, because it's history in the making. But it'd be easy to make the case that, hey, maybe we're just getting the no-hitters clustered together early in the season.
Sure.
But look at what's going on in baseball. Hitters are hitting .234 this season. That's worse than they hit in 1968, which is affectionately known as the year of the pitcher, right? .234. The only thing batters care about now, the only 3 things, are home runs, walks, and strikeouts. Nobody cares if you strike out a bunch as long as you can hit a lot of home runs. Look at Joey Gallo.
He's
doing just fine.
Go yard.
And I think you made an excellent point with this. Look at who's thrown the no-hitters. Wade Miley, John Means, Joe Musgrove, and Rodon. Rodon's a nice pitcher. He's been very good. Yeah. But it's not DeGrom and Scherzer and Strasburg and Kershaw and a bunch of big names. Right. We've had 4 seasons that have featured 7 no-hitters, 90, 91, 2012, and 2015. So if we get there this season, it's not going to surprise me at all because, the strikeout rates are through the roof. All right, look at us. We're on the same page to start.
On the same page. Good start, brother.
Reaction or no action? Cameron Newton will start the entire 17-game regular season for the New England Patriots this year.
I'm going to have a reaction to that, okay? Of course, injuries can happen, and if that's the case, then, and Cam has had injury issues, then we have a problem. But I think the plan for Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots is to have Cam start the entire season as long as he is healthy. Remember before he had COVID last year, he was actually playing some decent football. Then when he came back, that COVID fog kind of lingered for him the entire season. He has a full offseason to get reacclimated with this team, and there will be some adjustment because New England dumped like $150 million in the free agent market to bring in guys to help him out on the offensive side of the ball, namely some wide receivers. And right now, Joe, Josh McDaniels' offense is specifically tailored to Cam like Joe's fine shirt over there, to Cam Newton's strengths. Okay, that's what Josh McDaniels has built this offense around. And Cam Newton's strengths are almost diametrically opposed to what Mac Jones' strengths are. I don't think they built the offense for Mac Jones. It's built for Cam Newton to be the starter right now. That's why I think, given health, he will start all 17 games.
Disagree. Love the points. Disagree. This is going to be no action for me. If you are a starting quarterback in the NFL, you don't sign a one-year, $5.1 million contract, which is what Cam Newton signed. Now, he can earn upwards of $14 million on the deal, but the deal's a one-year, $5.1 million deal. That's backup money. You don't draft a quarterback in the year 2021 at 15th overall so you can sit him for the entire season. Newton is a placeholder, a good placeholder with enough left in the tank, and he will be better this year with a better arsenal, but Mac Jones is the future. Remember something, Belichick and Saban, really good friends. And if Mac Jones was Nick Saban's quarterback and Belichick drafted him, he got everything he needed from that scouting report. Must have felt great. Number 3 as we continue moving. Reaction or no action? Currently the 9th seed in the Eastern Conference, the Washington Wizards will finish the regular season as the 8th seed.
I got no action on that bad boy. Bad timing for these Wizards. They play tonight. Bradley Beal is hamstrung with a hamstring injury. He won't play tonight.
Nicely done.
We will see. Thank you very much.
It's a great start to your Monday.
We'll see how long Beal is out, if it's just this one game or with a soft tissue injury like this, if it takes more time off. But I don't think Boston's going to drop. And I think Charlotte, now that they have LaMelo Ball back, even though they lost to the Pelicans despite Terry Rozier going for 43 yesterday, I think they are a team that can be a little more consistent. They need Malik Monk back. They need to get some other pieces back. But I would take the Charlotte Hornets to hang on to that 8th spot and not let the Wizards jump in.
All right, I'm going to react. Another bit of a disagreement here. You're right. The Bradley Beal injury hurts because you're going to have Atlanta, and then you're coming home to play Cleveland and then Charlotte. So it could all be on the line
Massive
there.
game.
Look at who Charlotte's going to play over their last 4. Denver, the Clippers, the Knicks, and then the Wizards. So even with the loss of Bradley Beal, if you're losing, I still think the Wizards are in excellent shape to usurp. Get a big word in there. $2 word, usurp the Charlotte Hornets for the 8th seed. I could see Charlotte going on 4.
Not quite hamstrung, but good enough.
But Tater Tots in the clubhouse leader right now for the best thing on the show. Let's bring someone into the show who understands basketball more than the nonsense you just heard from the Tater Tot crew. His name is Ohm Youngmisuk. He's joining us because he covers the NBA for ESPN, and he was red hot in his interview with us last week, telling you everything you needed to know about Russell Westbrook. Ohm, we appreciate the time. Let's start with this. Russell Westbrook and Oscar Robertson are now tied for the all-time NBA lead in career triple-doubles with 181. After recording a triple-double in 7 of his last 8 games, Westbrook is a staggering minus 380 to record a triple-double tonight at Atlanta. That means you got to risk $380 to win 100. It's absolutely insane. Now, you can lay minus 380, for Westbrook to record a triple-double, or you can bet his individual props. Over-under 26.5 points, over-under 13.5 rebounds, over-under 13.5 assists. Of those 3 options, the assists, the rebounds, and the points, which are you least confident in Westbrook going over?
I'm probably least confident in assists because of what you had mentioned earlier. No Bradley Beal tonight. Bradley Beal's going to be out for the next 2 games. So now, Russell Westbrook's supporting cast, not so quite as explosive as obviously when you have Bradley Beal. Listen, the last time Russell Westbrook missed a triple-double, which was about 5 games ago, the category he came short in, assists. He had 9 assists. So assists I might stay away from. But listen, with no Bradley Beal, I kind of like the points. He's going to have certainly all the shots he wants tonight. And rebounds, he's just been on a rebounding tear. So I like rebounds as well. I would probably steer clear of the assists.
All right, the Wizards are 8-point dogs against the Hawks in this matchup. And, of course, Bradley Beal being out is a big reason. Second leading scorer in the NBA, north of 30 points per game. How will Washington account for that missing offense?
I am looking straight at my Asian brother, Rui Hachimura. He has got to step up tonight. No Bradley Beal for the next 2 games. Rui Hachimura, listen, in March, he was great. I think he averaged about 17, 18 points per game. And then he kind of hit a little bit of a lull. He was out a little bit with an illness, but now he's back. Rui Hachimura has to step up. And the other guy, Davis Bertans, he has not been great this season. Everybody thought that he would be good after he got the big contract. Tonight, he should get a steady diet of 3-point shots, and he has to step up and start hitting them more at a much better clip than he's been hitting. It seems like every night you look at the box score, it's like 2 for 8 for Davis Bertans behind the stripe, behind the 3-point line. He's got to shoot better than that tonight. Those 2 guys, and Daniel Gafford, I will throw him in there too. Scotty Brooks, play Daniel Gafford more minutes tonight. You're going to need him for those lobs when Russell Westbrook is looking for somebody to throw to inside.
Oscar Robertson's triple-double record stood for 40 years, if you can believe it or not. Do we think that the final triple-double mark that Westbrook posts, when it's all said and done, will stand the test of time like Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game? Or do you think someone's going to come along and knock this record from its perch somewhat in the very near future or near future?
This is how much the times have changed. If you asked me this question 10 years ago, I would say nobody's going to touch it. I didn't even think anybody was going to touch Oscar's number. But the way that the game of basketball has completely opened up, the way the type of players are now, how offensive-minded they are, how versatile they are, it would not surprise me if somebody was able to catch whatever number Russell Westbrook finishes at, just because the way the game has been. Look, I covered Jason Kidd in the early 2000s in New Jersey. And I remember thinking, God, 10 triple-doubles in one season. That's amazing that I got to watch that. He finished at 107 triple-doubles. Magic was at 138. That should just show you, I mean, Jason Kidd, we're only talking about like 2005 in the early 2000s, how much the game has changed since then. But Russell Westbrook now, he gets 35 triple-doubles in the season. Yawn. So look, I actually think the way the game is going, guys can actually have a chance to catch up with Russ. The one thing I would say, though, is that Russ has that Kobe-like determination to get rebounds, and he is so aggressive and is such a killer that is where you got to find that in another player to catch Russ.
Well, what do you think he ends up with then? In his 12-year career, all but 8 of his 181 triple-doubles have come in the last 7 years of that 12-year career. So if we put the total at a random number, say 230 triple-doubles, do you think he's going to go over that or finish his career under that number?
Look, I'm going to say over. I mean, he's not even in his first full season with the Wizards. This is a weird 72-game season where they had a COVID outbreak. He's only played 1 games, I think, and he has 35 triple-doubles this season. So what can he do in a full season with the Wizards where he's going to be more comfortable with this team, more comfortable with Bradley Beal? I actually think he's going to get that number and push it up a little bit. Wow. The way the game is today, guys are taking care of their bodies. He seems to be all right health-wise. Yes, he did start this season a little banged up, but the way he's going, I don't see why he can't go over 230.
He covers the NBA for ESPN and the heck of a shoe collection in the background. Ohm Youngmisuk joining us here on Bet. Thanks, Ohm. We appreciate the time.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we tweaked the schedule a little bit last week, and we did the daily Fortenbaugh Fulghum showdown, the DFS on Thursday. So let's go ahead and pay that off and look at the results that we generated from Thursday. Tight matchup on a 7-game slate. And unfortunately for Tyler, Joe Fortenbaugh emerged victorious. You and I are very streaky.
Are we tied now?
It's 7-6 Fortenbaugh.
7-6 Fortenbaugh?
7-6 Fortenbaugh. Now I've won 2 in a row to regain the lead.
Okay, then I only have this last week to try and tie it up. This is basically the last week of the season, is it not? We got
this shows you how dumb I am. I just assumed this was going to go on forever.
We can do it in the playoffs.
Not realizing.
We can do it in the playoffs.
Yeah, but then the playoffs end. I just assumed this was going to be something we did every week. I forgot that basketball season
will come to an end.
It does come to an end. Good call on Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah,
I was going through your lineup. I like the Hardaway Jr. selection. 34.5 points on a very cheap price tag. Same with Brandon Clark. The Doncic, Westbrook, Trae Young, super expensive trifecta did enough. And then I had a DNP there.
Yeah, you won with getting a 0 from Kenrich Williams. So
not even sure what happened
That's how
there.
bad my lineup was.
All right. Shake it off. Round 14 coming later this week. Shake it off. Come on. Don't let this ruin your week. We got a slot machine next to you. All right.
There it is.
Time for a little, we've been given strict instructions.
13 minutes and 58 seconds, the underhit.
There you go. Nicely done. I told you it was an under. That was a smash. NBA Pick'em Monday night edition. Big week last week. You went 7-4. I went 7-4. The show goes 14-8 overall. Very profitable. Let's see if we can keep it rolling. Game number 1, Atlanta's laying 8. Total of 237.5 against the aforementioned Russell Westbrook and the Washington Wizards.
I'm going to take the Hawks team total over 122.5. Bradley Beal is out. We know that. We've talked about it for the Washington Wizards. They're still first in pace in the NBA this season. We have been talking about how Washington is playing some good defense as of late.
Yes.
Well, it's kind of come back down to regular Washington Wizards crappy defense. Over their last 5 games, their defensive rating is 118.6, which would rank 30th behind the Sacramento Kings over the course of the entire season. The Hawks are trying to keep pace with that Knickerbocker team for the 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. Everyone's starting to return to health a little bit. Trae Young on Thursday, I think he did nothing in that first half and then blew the doors off in the second half, giving you that big number for your
big
lineup.
For fantasy,
so he's
big.
starting to get his wheels going. Bogdanovic is playing well. Capella's playing well as well. So I'll go over 122.5.
You're going to go over 122.5. I am going to play the under for the game at 237.5. I'm going against the move. It was 236. It's now come all the way up to 237.5. The absence of Beal is big for the Washington offense. With Bradley Beal on the court this season, the Wizards have an offensive rating that would rank 8th in the NBA. Very, very good. Without Beal, the offensive rating is so bad, it's actually worse than Oklahoma City's offensive rating, which is 30th in the NBA. Oklahoma City is a 102.7. With no Bradley Beal on the court, the Wizards are 100.6. It's that bad. Atlanta 22nd in pace. You mentioned how Washington flies up and down the court. Hopefully Atlanta can slow it down a little bit. Atlanta hopefully can play a little bit of defense tonight because they don't have to deal with Beal. Let's stay under.
Perhaps we can middle that.
Perhaps we can. Let's thread the needle. Game number 2, it's the Milwaukee Bucks. They're laying 7, total of 233.5 in San Antonio, taking on the Spurs.
Again, going to play a team total over here.
Right. Sensitive theme.
And I am identifying the Bucks as the team I want to go over, 120.5. I think they win this game. Milwaukee 3rd in pace this season, so they'll bring the pace up for the San Antonio Spurs. Right now, San Antonio's defense not looking good, 23rd in the NBA in defensive rating over its last 10 games. Giannis should get whatever he wants in the paint. Middleton and Holiday are there. I'm expecting them to score a lot against the San Antonio Spurs.
I am going to play the Bucks in the first half, -3.5. The Spurs have fallen off a cliff.
Yeah,
they have been really bad as of late. They have dropped 6 of 7, losing those 6 games by an average of 12.5 points per game. They're 32-35 on the season, but note this, 13-20 at home. The Spurs are actually worse at home than they are on the road. In fact, there's only 6 teams in the league with fewer home wins than the San Antonio Spurs. Milwaukee is 2nd in the NBA in first half scoring differential. The Spurs are 20th in the NBA in first half scoring differential at home. We're going to go ahead and lay the 3.5 with the Bucks in the first half. Game number 3, the Utah Jazz are laying 2, total of 225.5 in Golden State, taking on the Hot Warriors.
A more traditional player prop I'm going to attack here on the Utah side because we know Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell, hamstrung, Mike Conley. Donovan Mitchell's got an ankle sitch, does Donnie Boy. Both of them are out. So someone has to take over the point guard duties for this team. Jordan Clarkson's more of a scorer off the bench. That guy becomes Joe Ingles. Now, this morning, I bought this at 6.5. It's been pushed up to 7.5, but now I get plus 120, an extra 20 cents there. Well, it's actually minus 140, so it's an extra 60 cents I'm getting if this cashes. 7.5 is a lot, but Ingles, with those two off the floor, averages 7.96 assists per 36 minutes. And over his last 5 games, he's averaging better than 8 dimes. 3 of those 5 games, he has had exactly 9 helpers. So in a spot where, even though Golden State plays good defense, they're a pace-up team, 2nd in the NBA in pace this season for a guy who's averaging better than 8 dimes over his last 5 games with those other 2 out. Over, plus 120 for Ingles. I like that kind of player prop.
All right. I like the analysis. I am going to lay out something, and it's a bit of a secret. I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell the people at home. There are some bets I make knowing full well I am going to lose them. And yet, inexplicably, I make the bet anyway. That's one of these games. This is one of them. I'm going to lay the 2 with Utah, knowing full well I'm going to lose this bet. So you might say, why don't you play Golden State? Why don't you not play at all? Can't help myself. I can't help myself. It's one of these games. I love the price. I do not have faith in the Warriors. I think I'm getting a cheap price because the Warriors have won 4 of 5, but they're not beating anybody. They beat Oklahoma City twice, Oklahoma State would be impressive, considering if it would have been a football game and they only have 5 out on the court. But you beat Oklahoma City twice, you beat the Pelicans, and you beat the Rockets. That's not impressive. Yet, this is a good price. This is a really good price in my opinion. So I am going to play Utah, thinking full well that I am going to lose this game. How does that feel? How's that analysis? It's terrible. But I do it.
The bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it all plays out.
And if it comes back Thursday and I win this bet, I'm going to tell you how smart I am.
Yeah.
And if I lose it, I'm going to tell you I called it. I really can't lose it.
So you've set yourself up an out each way.
Yeah.
You have an out each way.
Except financially, of course, which I would end up losing the money. All right, Portland is laying 14. That opponent must stink with a total of 238 against. Hey, what do you say? It's the Houston Rockets. You laying the 14?
No, I'm going to, again, tack a team total here. This is kind of be my theme for the rest of this NBA season. When I see bad teams, I'm going to go to the other side and play their team total because it might be a kind of a sleepwalking spot because you see the Rockets on the schedule. So 14 is such a big number. But no matter what, whether the Rockets keep it close or not, more than likely Portland's going to score a lot of points in this game, regardless of what the outcome is when it's all said and done.
Total is 238.
It's a massive total, and Houston's a complete mash unit right now. Everyone is hurt. They're 7th in the NBA in pace. They're 27th in defensive rating. That's a great offensive matchup. Fast, poor defense against an offense like the Portland Trail Blazers, 4th this season offensive rating. They got Norm Powell, they got CJ, they got Dame Lillard, they got Yusuf Nurkic, pretty much all healthy there. So over 126.5 for the Blazers.
I'm going to do it. I'm playing the Rockets here. I will take the 14 points.
On something this Monday, my friend.
We did the podcast this morning, Daily Wager Podcast. You can check it out anywhere you find your podcast. And I had it at 15. And I thought maybe I should just wait because it's going to go up. It didn't. It came down. Now I'm getting it at 14. It's come down a full point. Portland looks good. They've won 7 of 8. They're a game back at Dallas for the 5 seed. They're a game up on the Lakers for the 7 seed. This is extraordinarily important because no one in the NBA wants to deal with the play-in game. Nobody. There's no sport on earth in which the athletes repeatedly tell you how little they want to do their job than the NBA.
Yeah.
Constantly, the athletes in the NBA are telling you they don't want to play. Load management this. Too many games that. Nothing but complaints, right? No one's going to want to have to deal with the play-in. So the Blazers are going to be focused on this. But how focused? Handle your business tonight because look at the upcoming schedule. At Utah on Wednesday, at Phoenix on Thursday, versus Denver on Sunday. 3 huge games down the stretch. So if you're Portland, get up early, win this game. Don't worry about the back door. Rest the starters. Get them ready for later in the week when those games are going to matter even more. I'm just going to pray for the back door. I clearly do not think Houston can win this game. I have no reservations whatsoever that they're even going to keep it tight. But I think they can keep it within 14.
After a great week in NBA Pick'em last week, you come on here back in the Rockets as 14-point dogs, and then giving the people a bet that you don't even like.
That I know is going to lose. I know it. I bet it. I'm like, this one's going to lose. The line's moving against me, but we shall see. All right. Big week here in Las Vegas, as you noticed from the slot machine. It's not just going to be the slot machine. This is Las Vegas week here for us at Bet. For those who don't know, the city will be celebrating its 116th year since the founding. The founding of Las Vegas was in 1905. I should have written down the date, May 15th. So 5 days from today, but we are doing the full-on celebration this week. Over under, 25th most populated city in the country.
I think it's under that now.
It is over. It is 28.
Well,
I went to the Wikipedia page, and I studied it quite a bit. So we are going to play movie night, all Las Vegas-themed movies. You're going to have 10 Vegas-themed movies. We are going to have the quotes for all 10. We are going to try to guess each and every one correctly. And
now,
we're working together on this.
I've seen most of these. However, outside of The Hangover, I don't think I've seen any of them in the past 20, 15 years.
I know it's been a while. I think we can get it done. Here's number 1.
Bring it up.
Take a deep breath. Boy.
Vodka Red Bulls are strange. I feel like I'm getting drunk and electrocuted at the same time.
Not how I was hoping to start. I don't know. I don't rule a few of these out. What is Las Vegas? Is that recent?
Let's try that. Let's try Las Vegas.
If that's the Michael Douglas movie with the old guys, that's the one I'd go with because that's a drink that's recent. Some of these movies are not. Indecent Proposal, they weren't drinking Red Bulls.
It was Las Vegas!
Deduction.
Baby, let's go!
Powers of deduction. Get off me. All right, you can read this one, assuming your eyes can see this. It's a bit tight.
Numero 2. It's amazing what paint and a surgeon can do. Paint and a surgeon.
I would say Showgirls is in play, and I'd say Leaving Las Vegas.
Let's go with Showgirls. Let's go with Showgirls. I like that.
All right, Showgirls.
Show me Jesse Spano. It is Showgirls 2 for 2.
So good. Those are movies I haven't even seen. So we should be able to knock some of these out of the park.
Before I was legally allowed to.
Downstairs, he takes us for $2 million, and upstairs, he takes free soap, shampoo, and towels.
I think this is 21. I think this is 21.
Okay, I'll ride with you on that one. Your rationale was outstanding.
I think this is 21.
21.
No,
Casino.
No, it's Casino.
That's not a good one to get wrong. Also, of all the quotes to go with, an interesting one.
Ooh, 95. Casino, great flick.
Outstanding flick. All right, here we go.
2 for
Bounce
3.
back.
2 for 3.
Bounce back.
Bounce back
Number
like Big
4.
Sean.
What do tigers dream of when they take a little tiger?
When they take a little tiger
snooze?
snooze. That, of course,
That
would
would
be
be-
The Hangover.
Also, the idea of which quote you were going to go with from that
Yeah.
movie, of all, there's so many options. All right, that only spawned a trilogy. And that movie came out of nowhere that summer.
Oh, my God.
All right, we're 3 of 4. Hit us with
classic.
number 5. Starting to choke on the popcorn here. Never negotiate without your lawyer. Never. For a woman like Diana, I could have gotten you at least $2 million. That's got to be indecent proposal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Indecent
go
proposal.
Indecent proposal. Robert Redford and
Oh.
a young Demi Moore.
Bob Redford.
So you're the only married one up here. What's the price, Joe Fortenbaugh?
There is no way I am answering that question in any way, shape,
Okay.
or form.
All righty.
There is no correct answer to that question, pal. None.
What do you think your wife's price is for this generation's Robert Redford?
There is
George Clooney.
no answer to that question I can give that will keep me in good spirits. I had a big Mother's Day yesterday. I'm not about to blow it. Okay? I'm not about to blow it. Shame on you for trying to do that to me. Because the house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you.
Okay.
Unless when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you
Is
take the
that
house.
Ocean's 11 or is that 21?
100% Ocean's
Ocean's
11.
11.
And that is George Clooney,
Speak of the
a.k.a.
devil. That can't be.
By the way, the haircuts.
That can't be just a mere coincidence that I mentioned George Clooney and the next one is Ocean's 11. Just saying.
When did you mention? Oh, yeah. I was not listening to anything you were saying. I wanted no part of that commentary at all. All right, number 7. We're looking good so far. I am spraying popcorn all over the place. Should have waited till the end to eat it. Well, we're printing money here. What do you think? Just because Mickey left, we're going to stop? No, I can do this. I can lead this team. You know I'm not the same guy I was back in Boston.
Okay, maybe is that 21?
That's 21. Yeah, Boston. MIT,
Spacey, yeah,
the famous
that's
blackjack
Kevin Spacey,
team.
yeah,
Kevin
yep,
Spacey
yeah.
playing the role of Mickey. It's a fantastic book. It's written by Ben Mesrick, who wrote the book about the Social Network, Facebook. He wrote 21. He also wrote Bringing Down the House, Busting Vegas. There's a second version of the blackjack team. All great books. All right, next one. Number 8. We're rolling here.
I'm a relatively respectable citizen, multiple felon, perhaps, but certainly not dangerous.
All right, so what do we have left? We have Leaving Las Vegas
Honeymoon
left.
in Vegas and Fear and Loathing. That sounds like Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing. Yeah, it's Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing.
No book starts off with a better line than that book. If you have never read that book, there's a chapter that's not
Hunter S.
in.
Thompson, right?
Yes, there's a chapter that's not in the movie. It might be the funniest chapter you'll ever read because it's just transcribed from a tape recorder that's in a suitcase from 2 guys trying to order Mexican food at a drive-thru.
But I tell you
Complete
what,
mess.
Hunter S. Thompson would be a tremendous Vegas confidant for a weekend.
Without question. All right, people get married and then they do the most hideous, unbelievable things to each other.
Honeymoon in Vegas?
Honeymoon in Vegas? Honeymoon in Vegas?
Honeymoon in Nick Cage.
I was going to say, I couldn't even guess who was in that. Is that Sarah Jessica Parker? Oh my God.
Is that Jimmy
James
Caan?
The colors of the suits, the Elvis is in the background. Goodness gracious.
I know what it is. Leaving Las Vegas.
Let's see the quote. I don't know if I started drinking because my wife left me or my wife left me because I started drinking.
I got you.
I could have probably put a different inflection on that so that sentence would have made more sense. But regardless, Leaving Las Vegas. We crushed. We absolutely
We
crushed.
get 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 is not bad.
9 out of
That's
10.
perhaps our best performance ever.
And if we're scoring at home, the one we missed was the one you recommended. So I technically was perfect.
I'll tell you what.
I'll take it.
Well, I tell you what, you earned yourself a nice little roulette chip
Thanks,
for that
buddy.
performance, my friend.
Good teamwork. We appreciate it. Good job not doing anything to the slot. We're not allowed to plug it in. We've been told, in no uncertain words, that if we plug this thing in, our hands will be cut off. That's a joke, but literally we have been threatened.
Is there tokens or money inside that?
I'm not touching it. I do not want to find out. Like
Are you
your
a
comments
slots guy?
earlier. There's a Wheel of Fortune machine I really like.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never got into the slots.
Sometimes you need to just get a drink and the tables are packed. So you sit down, you get the drink, you play for a little
My
bit.
sister is
you're
in
you're
Las
out.
Vegas right now, and she plays the slots, and the Wheel of Fortune game is her favorite as well. I think it was my grandma's.
Maybe
too,
I
so
should
she
ask you
likes
some wildly inappropriate questions about that relationship to get even on early.
Well, she's She's single again, my sister, in Vegas. So perhaps she can find her Robert Redford.
See, it is Las
She
Vegas
gets to keep
week
all the
here.
money for herself, too. She has to share it.
Tyler Fulghum, I'm Joe Fortenbaugh. We'll see you Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night.